with this tutorial, I want to show you everything that I'm going to be using, because I've had people ask me, you know, what exactly am I using. Alright, first off, I'm using the art glitter glue, and I'm using 1/4 inch score tape. I'm using this Martha Stewart punch, and I don't know the name of it. And then I'm using the scallop side of the We Are Memory Keepers chomper, and I'm using the 1/4 inch We Are Memory Keepers chomper. I'm using a 6x6 pad, and this is by Graphic 45, and I've had this in my stash for a little while, and it is just, you know, 3 different colors here, but this is the pad that I'm using. And I'm also using, and I apologize for the glare, but I'm using the cream color 65-pound weight cardstock from Recollections, and I get this at Michael's. Okay, I'm also using, this is my Easy Read ruler. I got this from Amazon. I also use the EK Tools bone folder, and I also use Cutter Bee scissors. Okay, so that is everything that I'm using, and I'm also using medium weight chipboard. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so to get started, what you're going to need 2 pieces, and like I said, this is medium weight chipboard, 6x6. Alright, you're going to need 1 piece that is 2x6. Okay, then what you're going to need are 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11, and this is the cardstock that I'm using. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to get your scoreboard, and I'm only using my scoreboard just to line up my paper. All I'm doing is I'm going to butt it up against the top here, and that's going to give me a nice straight edge all the way across. Okay, so 2 pieces that are 8.5 by 11. I've added 1/4 inch score tape to one side of 1 piece. Alright, I'm going to peel the backing off. I'm going to line it up at the 6 1/4. Okay, that way I know this piece needs to go at the 6. Okay, so all I'm doing, I'm butting it up against the top here, because this one is already butted up. Alright, so it's at the 6 1/4. This one needs to go to the 6. Okay, and I'm just holding it up with my thumb here. Alright, when you have it where you want it, drop it. Press it down. Here's your bone folder. And I get my bone folder and my glue from Country Craft Creations. Okay, I forgot to mention that a while ago. Alright, so now I'm going to take, and see, it just gives us a nice clean edge here at the top. Alright, so now I'm going to take my 2x6 piece, and I'm going to put it right here on the seam in the middle here. Alright, so this is my seam. Okay, I'm just going to take my 2x6 and just line it up right there in the middle. Alright, then I'm going to take my 2 2x6s. I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch spacing. And if you want to, y'all, you can use your 1/4 inch score tape and just run a piece of score tape between the 2 pieces here. Then you'll know it's exactly 1/4 inch. I like to eyeball my stuff, so you know, it really doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm going to glue this down, and you see I'm going to have some extra here on each side. Okay, so after I glue it down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to my trimmer, to my cutter, and I'm just going to cut off this excess piece here, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch, maybe 1 1/4 inches on each side. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. Okay, so now that I have my chipboard adhered to my cardstock, I went ahead and I've cut off the extra here on my sides. So, you know, like I said, that left me about 1 inch, maybe a little over 1 inch on both sides. Well, actually on all 4 sides here. Alright, now I'm going to take my stylus here, and if you don't have a stylus, you can always use your bone folder. I just like to use my stylus. Alright, all I'm doing is I'm going to go around the top of the chipboard and the edges and the bottom, and all this does is it is going to help the cardstock fold over that chipboard. Okay, now I'm just going to take my cardstock and I'm just going to fold it over. Okay, and I'm just going to stand it up, and I'm just going to bend it down. I'm going to press this at the top here. I'm just going to press it over the chipboard. Okay, Now I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just pressing that cardstock over top of that chipboard. Okay. Now, when you have that done, that's going to leave you squares on each side here. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to cut those squares off. Alright, I'm going to take my scissors, and when you cut this off, make sure that you don't go all the way to the chipboard. Alright, and I like to cut mine at an angle. Alright, so now this is what I have. Okay, so you see here, I still have some cardstock before the chipboard here. You know, don't cut all the way. And if you do, y'all don't stress about it. There are plenty of ways to cover it up. Okay, so I'm going to cut off the other sides here. And if I get out of frame, y'all, I do apologize. Alright, so now I'm just going to take, and I'm going to add score tape. Okay, and I'm going to take my score tape, and I'm going to run it all along the edges of my chipboard, as well as all along the edges of my cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to add my score tape. I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have all of my score tape off, I do want to show you something. Alright, I did add an extra piece here, 2 extra pieces here on the center piece, and then an extra piece here. Alright, the reason why I add the extra pieces is whenever I go to lay down my next piece, I don't want any bubbling or cracking whenever I fold my album up. Alright, so now that I have that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my art glitter glue. Okay, I'm just going to go along the top of my chipboard, up against the sides of the cardstock, and right up here at the top. Alright, and you can go right on top of that score tape. Okay, now I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to press this cardstock up against that chipboard. Alright, now I'm going to spread out my 4 fingers here. Alright, starting at the middle, I'm going to press the middle down first. Alright, and then I'm just going to work my way out. Okay, take your bone folder, press that down. Okay, if you have glue come out like I do here, no big deal, y'all. It's going to dry clear, and 90% of the time it's going to be covered up anyway. Alright, so I'm just going to flip it over, do the same thing here. Right on top of that score tape along the top. All in the middle. Okay, take my bone folder. Press this down. Okay, now for my sides, I'm going to take my bone folder here, and I'm just going to press in the sides. Alright, so here at the bottom, I'll just press it up, turn it around, go down, and at the bottom, we're going to go up. Alright, and what that does, it gives you a nice clean edge. Sometimes it works, you know, nice and clean. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, take my bone folder, press it down. Okay, y'all, I apologize for that. My camera cut off. Alright, so all I've done is I've taken my glue, added along the edges here, all in the middle. Alright, I'm going to take my bone folder, press that edge up, press it down. Okay, and that's all you're going to do to all 4 sides. I'm not really sure where my camera cut off, but that's all we've done is just glue down our sides. Okay, so now what you're going to do to cover the inside, you're going to need a piece that is 5.5 by 11. Okay, I've already added some ATG tape around the edges, and now I'm just going to go all along the inside here, and I just place it wherever. But you know, you want to get a good amount of tape on here. If you're using tape, I'm also going to use glue, because I want this, you know, to stick down really, really good. Alright, so I'm just going to take my art glitter glue here, and I'm going to go all over this piece. Okay, on my edges, all in the center, everywhere. Okay, and I'm also going to go on my album here. I'm just going to make me a little box here. Okay, and I'm going to go all on the inside of this box. Okay, if I'm shaking the camera, I do apologize. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my 5.5 by 11 piece. Okay, I'm just going to add it on here, and I'm just going to center it up as best as possible. You know, I don't like to really measure. Okay, when you have it where you want it, press it down. Alright, take your bone folder, or you know, whatever you're using, and just press it down really, really, really good. Alright, you want to work that glue in real good. Okay, and you see here I've got some chipboard showing here. That's no big deal because it's going to be covered up. Alright, so now I'm just going to work my glue. Alright, now I'm going to take my left hand side here. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to press with my bone folder, and I'm just going to bend slightly. Okay, when you find that crease, just work your crease and bend at the same time. Okay, and you see here I don't have any bubbling. Let me see here. Alright, see, I don't have any bubbles in this piece here. It is just straight and flat as it can be. Alright, that's what that extra tape does. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to work that paper and then find that crease and just press and bend. Okay, and again, see how flat that is? There's no bubbles up in there. Alright, and now this is what we have. Okay, so our album is covered inside and out. Alright, now I'm going to do the binding. Alright, for the binding, I'm going to need a piece that is 1.5 by 5 11/16. Okay, and then I'm going to need a piece that is 2.25 by 5 11/16. Okay, that 11/16 mark, let me show y'all. It is right below the 3/4. Alright, so 5 3/4, it is just a little mark right below that. And if you want to, y'all, you can cut it at 5 3/4 and then just cut, you know, just a little hair off, and then it'll be the same thing. Okay, so I've got a 1.5 by 5 11/16, and I have a 2.25 by 11/16. Alright, I've scored a half, rotate around, scored a half. Okay, I've done that to both pieces. Alright, scored a half, rotate around, scored a half. Okay, I've already added score tape to the back of both of these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel my score tape off. And it kind of overlaps it here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, with both pieces laying flat, I'm just going to take this piece and lay it right on top. Okay, I need to add some art glitter glue right on top of that score tape. Okay, now I'm just going to line it up. I'm going to open this up here. Okay, this one is laid down flat. And again, y'all, I'm just eyeballing. Okay, I'm just going to lay it down. But before you press it down, you know, kind of make sure it's where you want it. Okay, when you have it where you want it, press it down with your bone folder. Alright, got glue come out, no big deal, just wipe it off. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take the score tape off of this side. And sometimes I think peeling the backing off is the hardest part. It can be so aggravating. Okay. see. Wants to be aggravating. Alright, now I have all the backing off. I'm going to take my art glitter glue, lay right on top of that score tape. Add right on top of that score tape. Alright, making sure now that you don't go over your score lines. Okay, now I'm going to take my book. Okay, and again, I'm going to lay it out flat. Okay, and I'm going to eyeball mine. You're more than welcome to measure. Okay, but I'm just going to take it, and in between my two pieces here, right on top of this spine piece, alright, you can fold it up, you know, so you can see exactly where your lines are, where your folds are. Okay, I'm just going to take this, lay it right on top, you know, center it up as best as you can. When you have it where you want it, press it down. Okay, just take your bone folder, press it down. And again, y'all, I have glue come out, no big deal. Just going to wipe it off. And it's going to dry clear. Okay, now what you want to do is you just want to take your 1/2 inch pieces here and fold them up. Alright, so now we have our binding in. Alright. So this is what we have. Now we have our album and our binding. Okay, now we're going to work on our pages. So for our pages, what we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and show you here. I've already done one. So I have this little opening here, so you can add a photo in here. You're going to have a pocket here, then you're going to have a flap, another flap, and this is going to flip over. So this is the back of your page. This is the front of your pages. Alright, so this is going to flip up. We're going to add a decorative piece here, add a pocket, and then this is your bottom piece. Alright, so this is the front, this is the back. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to make 4 page bases. Okay, so you're going to need 4 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. You're going to need 4 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 6 3/4. On your 6 3/4 side, you're going to score it a half, rotate around, score it a half. Alright, fold down and burnish both of your score lines. Okay, now you're going to take your glue or adhesive, you know, whatever you're using, add to your little 1/2 inch piece here. Now you're going to take your 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. You're just going to place it right on top. Okay, and you kind of want to, you know, take your time and make sure everything is lined up. When you have it where you want it, press it down and burnish. Alright, open it up. You may have some glue come out. Just wipe that off. Alright, turn it around. We're going to add glue to this 1/2 inch piece. Okay. Now all you're going to do is fold down your flap. Make sure everything is lined up. Press and burnish. Okay. You have glue come out, just wipe it off, and now you're going to have a page base. So now we have a tunnel. Alright, this is our page base. You're going to need 4 of these. Okay, now for the front, you're going to need a piece that is 5 3/4 by 6 1/4. On your 6 1/4 side, you're going to score it a half. Alright, fold down, burnish. Okay, if you're going to use a decorative punch, go ahead and do that. I've already done mine. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my glue, add to my little 1/2 inch piece here. Alright, I'm going to the top. I have an opening to the right and an opening to the left. Okay, so I'm going to the top. Okay, I'm going to turn mine sideways here so I can see it. Alright, you want to make sure that everything is straight. Okay, when you have it where you want it, press it down. Alright, so now we have a flap. Alright, now we want to add a pocket. Okay, you need to add your design paper before you add on your pocket. Okay, I've made a little note here. Add design paper before attaching the pocket. Okay, your pocket is going to measure 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. 3 3/4 is on the side. 4 1/2 is going to be at the bottom and the top here. Okay, so all you're going to do, add your design paper. Alright, you're going to take your pocket, you're going to add glue to 3 sides, place it on. Okay, that's all you're going to do for the front. Alright, now we're going to flip it over. We're going to work on the back. So for the back, you're going to need a piece that is 5 3/4 by 6. On your 6-inch side, you're going to score it a half. We're going to fold down, burnish. Alright, add our glue. Okay, now, don't forget, your opening is to the right, opening to the left. Okay, now we're going to go to the left-hand side here. We're going all the way to the left. Okay, making sure everything is lined up. You have it where you want it, press it down, and burnish. Alright, so now we have a flap. Alright, we want to add a flap on top of this. So we need a piece that is 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. On your 5 1/2 side, you're going to score it a half, fold down and burnish. And I forgot to mention this on the other one. If you're going to, use a chomper or anything, go ahead and do that. Okay, we're going to add our glue. Now, I'm going all the way to the left, but I'm going to go down about 1/4 inch. I want 1/4 inch at the top and 1/4 inch at the bottom. Okay. So I'm going all the way to the left. Alright, when you have it where you want it, press it down. Alright, see, we have a little spacing here. So we have about 1/4 inch at the top and about 1/4 inch at the bottom. Okay, so now we have 2 flaps. Alright, I want to add a pocket on here. For that pocket, you're going to need a piece that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. On your 5 1/2 inch side, you're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Okay, we're going to fold down and burnish all 3 sides. Okay. That's going to give us, we're going to open it up, that's going to give us 2 little squares here at the bottom. Alright, we want to cut those squares off. Alright, I like to angle mine, so I'm just going to cut it right there to that score line. Alright, I'm going to do that to both of them. Okay, now I'm going to fold in my 2 sides, and this is just something I like to do. I just like to tack down that bottom. Okay, now I'm going to take, I need to add my design paper. Okay, add your design paper before you add on this pocket. Okay, design paper, pocket. Alright, and that's it, y'all. I did take and punch out these little frames that I have. Alright, I have a little die and punched out frames. And if you have a die you want to use, make sure you add your design paper on here as well. Okay, so you're going to add your design paper to your flap, then add your pocket, then you're going to add design paper to your pocket, and then add your frame. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Alright, and that's it, y'all. So super simple and so super easy. Front, you have a flap with a pocket. Alright, the back, you're going to have a little frame here. If you have a frame, if you don't worry about it. You can always add a photo here. Alright, but if you have a frame, do your frame, your pocket, flap, flap. That's it. So super simple. Okay, now, for the front and the back, I'm just going to do the same thing. The back is going to look like the front side. Alright, because this is what I want. This is... Alright, I'm going to open this up. We're going to add our page on. If I can find it here. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, so this is the back of my page. So I want the back of the inside back. I want it to look like the front. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to take your 5 3/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, and I don't have these wrote down on here, but I do already have them cut out. Alright, so you're going to take your 5 3/4 by 6 1/4 piece. Okay, you're going to score it, burnish. Alright, you're going to add it on here. Okay, when you do this, take your time because you don't want to go over this seam here. Okay, so you want to go, alright, let's see, I think that's probably, where's my little ruler here? That's about 1/8 of an inch spacing on this side and this side, as well as at the top here. Alright, so I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch on these 3 sides. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. Go ahead and do that. Okay. You want to take your time because you want to make sure, you know, everything looks good. Alright, when you have it where you want it, press it down. Okay, now we have a flap on. Okay, so now we're going to need a pocket here. So we need to add our design paper and then add our pocket. Okay, and that pocket is going to be 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, so it's the same thing as what the front of your pages are. Okay, and so for the front of our album, we're going to do it as if it were the back of our page. Okay, so I'm just going to slide this on here. Okay, so now this is the front inside cover. We want it to look like the back of a page. Alright, so we're going to take our 5 3/4 by 6 piece. We want to put that down first. Okay, so I'm just going to fold down and burnish. And y'all, all of the measurements are in the description bar below if you have, you know, any question about measurements. Okay, so I'm just going to take my glue, add it on here. Now, again, I'm going to go about, let's see, this time I'm going to do about 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom, and almost 1/4 on the side. Alright, so this is what I have. Okay, so I have about 1/8 of an inch spacing here and here, but I have about 1/4 of an inch spacing here. Okay, so that's going to open up like this. Alright, we want our next flap, which is going to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, we're going to take it, fold down and burnish, add our glue. Okay, we're going to add it right on top. Again, we want to go down about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, when you have it where you want it, press it down and burnish. Okay, alright, so now we want to add that little pocket on there. Okay, so that pocket is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Alright, we've scored on 3 sides, fold down and burnish. Add your design paper. Okay, add design paper and then your pocket. Okay, and then again, if you have a frame, add your design paper and then your frame. And that's it, y'all. That's all we're going to do to this album. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach my pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add score tape to both sides of my little flaps here. And I'm just going to open up my tunnel here. See, so you just open up your tunnel, slide it on. Let me show y'all. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add my score tape and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so I went ahead and I've added my design paper to the front and the back, as well as to my all of the pages here. Okay, so to add our pages in, being that I've already added my design paper, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so I want the brown to the brown, green to the green, pink to the pink, brown to the brown, green to the green. Alright, I like to start at the back of my album. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these to the side. And I'm just going to pick from the top, because like I said, I like to start at the back. Alright, so I'm on the front of my little flap. Okay, I call this the back. This is the front. Alright, I'm just going to peel that score tape off. I want to take some art glitter glue. Go right on top of that score tape. Okay, I'm going to take my page, I'm going to open it up. Okay, so now that I have my tunnel, okay, and like I said, I want my green to the green. Alright, so I know this needs to go here. Alright, so I want the brown facing me. I'm just going to slide it right over. I'm going to try to slide it anyway. Right over that little 1/2 inch piece there. Just work it down. Okay, now I have it on there. I want to line it up before I press it down. Okay, when I have it where I want it, I'm just going to open this up and press this down. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to take my pokey tool. Alright, I'm just going to take my pokey tool, stick it underneath here, grab that tape. Okay, I'm just going to pull that off. Take my glue, run up in here. Alright, and press it down. Okay, now I'm just going to do the rest of the pages like that. And that's it, y'all. This album will be done. I wanted to tell you too, make sure that you add your seam binding or whatever type of closure, you make sure you add it on before you add on your design paper. Okay, so if you're going to use seam binding or ribbon, make sure you add that before you add on your design paper to the outside. But that's it, y'all. So super simple, so super cute. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. And I want to tell you too, alright, this is the pad that I used. And like I said, it's Graphic 45. It is 36 sheets of 6x6. Okay, I'm not going to have, I will have enough, you know, for the outsides. But whenever I flip this up, I need a piece here. And like these, I'm going to need a piece here and here. Alright, I'm not going to have enough of design paper because my pad only has 36 sheets. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, you know, pick out some solid colors that I have, and I'm just going to use that. If you want to use this album for a whole 6x6 pad, you want to make sure, let's see, I have one here, like this one has 48 sheets, okay, but this album only has, this paper pad only has 36 sheets. Alright, so pay attention to that, okay. If you want all 6x6 in this one album and you want everything to match, make sure, you know, that you get a larger 6x6 pad. Okay, like I said, this one is 48, but the one I used is only 36, and I'm not going to have enough design paper for the backs of my flaps here. But that's okay. You know, I like to use solids every now and then, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pick out some solids that match, and that's what I'm going to use. Alright, but I hope you all had a wonderful day, and I hope everyone enjoyed this album, and let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.